And here is the Writer's Almanac for Friday, September the 25th, 2020. It was on this day, 1789, the Congress approved 12 amendments to the Constitution, which had been recently ratified. 10 of them would eventually become the Bill of Rights that we know today. It was George Mason from Virginia who had been disappointed in the Constitution. He thought that it gave too much power to a central government and with little protection for individual rights. So he lobbied for the amendments. And after a few years, Thomas Jefferson joined the cause, and George Washington and James Madison. In the summer of 1789, Madison introduced 17 amendments before Congress. That was narrowed down to 12, which were approved on this day, 1789, sent to the states for ratification, of which 10 were ratified, which protect, among other things, a citizen's right to freedom of religion, freedom of speech, freedom of assembly, a well-organized militia, and a speedy and public trial, and freedom from unreasonable search and seizure, and excessive bail, freedom from the quartering of troops in your home, and self-incrimination. And Article 10, the powers not delegated to the United States by the Constitution, nor prohibited by it to the states, are reserved to the states respectively, or to the people. One of the amendments which did not succeed would prohibit members of Congress from voting to raise their own pay without allowing the voters to have a say. It's the birthday of Francine Duplessis Gray, born in Warsaw, 1930, the novelist, short story writer. Her first novel was Lovers and Tyrants, came out in 1976. And it's the birthday of the children's author and cartoonist Shel Silverstein, born in Chicago, 1930, an author who avoided the press, refused to give interviews, did not go off on book tours. And it was on this day, 1981, Sandra Day O'Connor was sworn in as a justice in the Supreme Court, first woman to hold that office. She graduated from Stanford Law School, 1952, top of her class, couldn't find a law firm that would give her a job because she was a woman. So she moved to Arizona, opened up her own law practice, became active in the Republican Party, became majority leader of the Arizona State Senate, then was appointed to the Court of Appeals, and 2 years later, President Reagan appointed her to the Supreme Court. Here's a poem for today by Linda Paston, Market Day. We have traveled all this way to see the real France, these trays of apricots and grapes spilled out like semi-precious stones for us to choose, a Milky Way of cheeses whose names like planets I forget, heraldic soul displayed on ice as if the fish themselves had just escaped, leaving their sealed armor behind. There's nothing like this anywhere, you say. And I see Burnside Avenue in the Bronx, my mother sending me for farmer cheese and lox, the rounds of cheese, grainy and white, pocked like the surface of the moon, the silken slices of smoked fish lying in careful pleats, and always, as here, sawdust under our feet, the color of sand brought in on pant cuffs from Sunday at the beach. Across the street, on benches, my grandparents lifted their faces to the sun, the way the blind turn towards a familiar sound, speaking another language I almost understand. Poem by Linda Paston, Market Day, from Carnival Evening, published by W.W. Norton, used by permission here on the Writer's Almanac, funded by donations from listeners like you, now available on PRX for distribution by your local radio station. Be well, do good work, and keep in touch.